This is like a $200,000 mistake. It doesn't actually look like you guys have 400K followers. It doesn't feel like you have that authority. You're trying to be affordable, but then you're also not trying to be that expensive to where people can't buy them. Fucking hate the situation you're in right now, so that you want to get out of it. $37,000 a month in September, $47,000 a month in October, $80,000 a month in November, and $154,000 a month in December.
We went over the numbers.
Yeah.
You were like, you have all of these leads and this amount of book calls. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
The only obstacle that could stop you guys from achieving your outcome was how you looked at your situation, because you guys were balancing between 30 and 40K a month, so it was comfortable.
We were just stuck because we didn't really know exactly what we were supposed to change compared to what we were doing. We weren't really scaling as fast as we wanted.
We knew we could get there, and we knew you could help us get there. You know, when we hit it, it was like fulfilling our own potential and being proud of what we achieved together. Like, we were the small fish in that London mastermind. Now we're in Sweden, and I think we're the business that has generated the most. Crazy, man, because it's like we doubled the business in 30 days and you still feel like shit.
I want to read something out which I think is fucking cool. $37,000 a month in September, $47,000 a month in October, $80,000 a month in November, and $154,000 a month in December.
Ora.
We're sitting here, you know, in Sweden, as we said in our past videos. So how does it feel knowing that you scaled to the business to this point?
Definitely feels good, definitely fulfilling. I think we talked about it last night. We knew we could get there, and we knew you could help us get there. So it's like, you know, fulfilling your own potential when you hit it. So it was never a surprise for us.
Yeah.
Maybe that fast, a bit of a surprise. But it's like, you know, when we hit it, it was like, you know, like fulfilling our own potential and being proud of what we achieved together. At the end of the day, we know it's literally just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, we did like 40, then 80, then 150. And then this month we also maintain 100. Yeah. So, you know, now we're excited for the next steps and to get to 300, 500, 1 million, man.
Bro, let's make it happen. That's it. How about you, man?
No, 100%. I agree. I feel like what was really powerful that we also talked about was also meeting in person and having that proximity, and really surrounding ourselves with people that were all at the time basically making more than us and basically surpassing everybody just because of how uncomfortable it felt and what position it put us, of really feeling like it wasn't enough. It wasn't okay to be at the point that we were at. You know, that's really what I feel like made the biggest difference for us.
And I want to go over that because when you guys joined, it wasn't like you guys hit a super low month. You guys had a record month, back-to-back record months, and then you decided to join. Yeah. Like, what was the shift for you? What made you guys realize, like, hey, we need to change? Because no one just invests in a 5-figure program like that, especially after they hit a record month, which you guys did. So what was the decision that kind of went into that?
I think the main reason why is because once you really get into business and you understand how it works, you understand that oftentimes it's just bottlenecks that you can't spot yourself, and that just investing in someone that has more experience than you speeds up the whole process so much that the ROI is just makes logical sense. You know, it's like I knew already that we had the potential for that, and we were just stuck because we didn't really know exactly what we were supposed to change compared to what we were doing. Like, we were doing good, like okay, I would say, but we weren't really scaling as fast as we wanted. That's the main thing. And we were just like, we know that this guy can help us with where we want to get. So let's just do it. It just makes logical sense.
And I think in the past, we made the mistake of, like, when you hit record month, you need to maintain that momentum. I think one of the worst things that you can do is, like, kind of hit a record month and settle and just like hit a record month, you know.
Slow down,
it's chill. So it's like investing after a record month, from the way I see things, actually the most logical thing. Because it's like, okay, unlock something. Now what's next?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think when you guys joined, it was perfect timing. I mean, I want to go over London as well. We were able to meet up in London, and we did the whole one-day mastermind. Perfect timing and all that. But prior to that, you joined. You obviously saw the program. Like, what were you guys' first impressions after, you know, joining similar programs and all that?
Yeah, I think from the very first moment, like, what was very interesting and, you know, what was impressive about the program was, and it's what we're literally trying to build now. It's like you were able to build an infrastructure around you of systems, but also of people, which to me is more impressive. So, like, you know, we come from our coaching where we're still very hands-on, and, you know, we're fixing that with time. But seeing that, you know, you in the onboarding, for example, we're just like one step of the process, and we had to talk to this expert and this expert and access these systems. It would just good vibes in the sense of, okay, I can see this guy has it fully dialed in.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure we can extract also a lot for our own program.
How about you, Ale?
Yeah, I would say the same. Also, the London Mastermind, again, I think I want to stress that a lot, but just because I think it was effectively a lot, like really powerful, that proximity that I was mentioning. And so also the fact of not just having a program, but also having certain culture around it and building a community in the real sense of the word, because at the end of the day, it's like, especially for coaching programs, oftentimes I think the approach that I also don't really like that much is very transactional, and it's very much like, okay, cool, you gave me your money, let's solve the problem. But it's very logical, it's very cold in that sense. And what we also try to do, and that I think you also do really, really well, is creating a real connection with the people. It makes the world of a difference, I'd argue. Also in terms of the results. Like, it might not be the technical stuff necessarily, but it makes a difference in terms of how going through that process feels, and as a consequence also how motivated you are to go through that process.
Yeah. Something else that I add is, and Ale was saying it before, that we were the small fish in that London mastermind. And now we're in Sweden, and I think we're the business that has generated the most. So it's like, I really, really hope that some of the guys that were here on this mastermind would have the same effect that we, landed through. Because like,
and you already know Dario.
Yeah, and it's running. Or I can feel breathing on my neck. So might as well. There's people like making 20, 30, 40 that was on this mastermind. It's like, you talk to us, bro. Like, we put in the work. We're not that different than you, right? So it's like, it's just about, everybody has the same resources. Just use them, and do it.
And I think that the one thing that I want to stress was the London meetup. I think that there was no better timing, and it was so special to see your guys' transformation, because the moment we had our warm-up call, I was like, I think the London Mastermind was like in a week, and I was like, you guys need to come to this, and it ended up going amazing. You guys attended the entire presentations, all that, but the real thing that I want to touch on was that one-on-one breakdown after. Now, I knew that the only obstacle that could stop you guys from achieving your outcome was your mindset, how you looked at your situation, because you guys were already comfortable. Back-to-back record months. In October, you did 47, and it was balancing between 30 to 40K a month, so it was comfortable. You guys were both making 5 figures a month each. And my goal, when I broke down the business and when I talked to you guys in person, was like, how can I make these guys so disgusted at their situation that they go home feeling like absolute shit, just so they can put in the work and really go to that next level.
And you've seen it then when we met again in Cyprus. We were like, next month we're hitting 100 for a fact. We ended up hitting 80, and we were like, bro, we failed. This is shit. And it was literally twice what we made the month before. And we're like, we failed. This is the end.
We failed a lot.
Bro, it was so funny.
I'm gonna go work at McDonald's.
It was so funny, because that was like my main goal. It wasn't even like, we obviously went over strategy. We told you to remove like the pricing at 4K, like that didn't make any sense. Position yourself more premium and all the little strategies. I recommend everyone that watches this video to watch that breakdown, because you can see the entire process and the entire journey. But one thing that really just stood out was like, why did you guys, like, how did that make you feel, after the one-on-one breakdown? Did you guys have any like heart-to-heart conversation? Was the walk home a bit quiet or something? What was it like? So I actually never asked about.
100%, man. We just had a conversation, multiple conversation, man. We were like, like, we needed that, because like, even in Cyprus, bro, we got our nice villa, nice pool, and it's like, we're chilling there. So it's like, sometimes, bro, you just gotta like face reality, face that there's people that are doing, better than you, and they're not different than you. And you telling us in a very straightforward way. And also when, you joke, kind of playing with the fact that you should be, making double what you're making minimum. It's like, it just resets your whole perspective, and it's like, why am I comfortable right now? And it's like, it's not even for the money. Like, again, we were talking about yesterday, but it's like, if you're happy with 40, like, you're seeing yourself as the person that can hit 40 and that's it. But that's bullshit. We all know that we can hit 1 million a month more. Like, we have the potential for that. So you pointing that out, like, triggered us in a positive way. And we had this conversation where like, he's right, like, that's shit, and we gotta better that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys took it the right way, because my coaching style is very direct, it's very blunt, very straightforward.
Yeah. But we prefer it. I think we prefer it way more in terms of, and I think, if you're a business owner, you shouldn't be wanting for people to sugarcoat it to you. Like, I prefer when someone is just blunt and it's like, what the fuck? Like, even when we went over the numbers, and we were like, what the fuck? You have all of these leads and this amount of book calls. Like, this doesn't make any sense. There's like a huge hole in this whole funnel,
Yeah.
We stress strategy, but I think the main takeaway from you guys was like, our situation, like, we're so uncomfortable with our situation and so in pain, in so much pain, even though.
Bro, I started with that when we hosted the call in your community, when I went over like what we changed. One of the, like, literally the first point that I went over was that, because I firmly believe that that's the biggest difference. If you think about it, it's like, why then all of the other people in the program, even some of them that have been longer, like, instead of the program, I have access literally to the same resources, are not at that same point. Yeah. Because it didn't feel the same. And so I think that was really powerful.
Yeah. It's so crazy that you guys made all that change. And then fast forward a month later, after our 1 day, like, kind of just like breakdown and all that, we met up in Cyprus. So for a bit of context, we went to Cyprus for a team retreat. You guys were there. We went at the complete wrong time. It was a ghost town. And we won't get into like the whole.
They came to Cyprus in February.
Yeah. We all get into the whole buggy situation and all that shit. They got fucked up. But I remember I met you guys in the restaurant, and in November was an 80K month for you guys. Yeah. And I remember dapping you guys up, and in the moment business got brought up, you both kind of like looked almost depressed.
Yeah.
You both looked almost like not happy. But when we looked at the actual numbers, you guys went from 47 the month before that to 80.
Yeah.
You guys down here doubled the business. What was going through your head in Cyprus?
Bro, 100 was going through our head.
Yeah.
Like the thing, man, is like, it's, you want that number, and then I think it's a combination, and we talked about this in Cyprus. It's a bit of a tricky subject, but it's like, it's a combination between wanting more, but also not putting too much or gold on a pedestal, because that, then you push it away. So I think it's a combination between knowing, like, I don't like this situation, I can do way better than this, but also at the same time, not chasing desperately, like doing the right things with the right urgency, and I think it's gonna come naturally. And that's literally what happened the month after. Like when we hit 154, like we almost like did the accounting at the end of the month. We were like, shit, what was that? It's like it almost felt that way, because we were doing the right things, and we were striking for more, but not with that like needy, like 100 is what I need to hit kind of mindset.
And one thing that you guys brought up that really stuck with me, that I really want to stress about, is like, man, you sat there, and I remember we sat next to each other, and Ale was across, and you guys said that like we're making the most amount of money, but we're also the least fulfilled because we didn't achieve this goal that we set out to achieve. And I remember sitting there and saying to you that, man, the goal is a byproduct. The money that you make is a byproduct of the impact that you have. You guys are striving for the wrong reasons. Like, it's about the 100K month. It's about me. But I think when it's like a second pair of eyes looking at it, and it's like, hey, I'm giving you the perspective that it's actually, we say it's the cash and all that, but it's actually not about that. And it's about being able to just impact and then do the inputs that will lead to record months. And I literally remember as we finished dinner and we were heading back, I told you that the inputs that you do now will lead to a record month in December or January. I remember saying that so clearly. And I don't think you guys saw it at the time. Maybe you did, but right after that, boom, and everything exploded. And I think you learned so much, not just mentally, but in terms of like how you guys think as business owners. I was talking to you, and we were saying like last night, guys, me and Brian stayed up till 4 a.m. talking to Dario last night. Like, it's actually insane. But we were talking last night, and the Alessio and Brian that I met in London, night and day difference to the Alessio and Brian that are sitting here today. In terms of the way that you guys look at business, the way that you guys carry yourselves, the mindset that you have, and the entire approach you have. So money aside, business transformation aside, that's all cool, but you guys have become completely different people and have such a higher expectation of yourself. Like, 6 figures a month is a standard. And it's only a matter of time until the 200, 300, and 500K, and even a million month feats and achievements will happen. But you guys are already living that kind of reality, and it's only a matter of time until reality catches up.
100%, man.
So it's crazy, man, to see your guys' transformation from where you guys were literally in October to where you are now. And it feels like it's been like 6 months to a year, huh?
Yeah, I know, man.
It feels like it's been a journey.
That's true, bro.
And the crazy part is we met each other 3 times.
Yeah.
London, Cyprus, and then here, and then we're gonna probably meet up in London again as well.
Exactly.
Which is really, really cool.
Yeah. And I think meeting in London immediately set the right expectation.
Yeah.
And the right kind of like standard for ourselves in the way of like acting fast.
Yeah.
Because like we literally joined like a week after we came to London. We flew to London. I was actually in the States and we flew to London. And it's like that kind of set the entire tone of like, we here to move fast, not, joke around. And then we did the same for everything else.
Literally.
And that's what allowed us to go this fast.
Literally. Okay, so it's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Brian has a sales call right now, so we're going to pause the interview. We're going to come back. It's probably going to be a bit darker, but hopefully we continue the interview with a nice little 50 or something.
Look at the team these guys just got.
As a student that have an accountability partner, someone that's on the same journey as them. Frame it like that. I used to get hackers on my offer, especially.
What specific problems, in the one-on-one breakdown that made you feel like, hey, we got to change something? And what do you think was that problem that you guys were facing that you really wanted to solve?
I mean, I think the first problem, we were just talking about it, but first realizing that you have a problem.
Yeah.
And that you want to change your situation that you're in, because if you don't have that, you're not going to change, even if you have the resources. Then, of course, like we look at the numbers, and it was so obvious how our big problem was opponent setting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I would say 70%, 80% the reason why we're able to like triple, quadruple the business. No, let's say triple in like, less than 3 months. Definitely opponent setting. And also one thing that I think you were really good at making us realize, the very first call, not really in London in the breakdown, was the fact that, and I'm sure this is applicable for anyone that has a team, like really split responsibilities in the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were kind of do everything together.
Yeah.
Like we would have a task to do, and it's like we'd divide that task into, rather than like you take care of this and I take care of that. So I definitely say, number one, understanding that we had a problem in the first place, opponent setting, which was huge because we had a ton of leads but very little calls and so on, and splitting responsibilities in the right way.
I remember when we first had that, I was like, so who's doing what?
Right.
And then you're like, we kind of do everything. And then that's when I kind of knew, okay, like, all right, let's split up responsibilities, because the problem with that, especially since you guys are 2 founders, the blame gets shifted. Like, I thought he was doing that. I thought he was doing this. And then it's like this whole mess. But then if it's just this person is responsible for sales and this person is responsible for fulfillment, then it's like so clear. If it's a bottleneck in this department, then we know that, hey, this person is responsible for it. And then the other guy can help out wherever he can.
And not only that, I think it's also a matter of knowing where your strengths are and then playing into those, rather than trying to split everything just for the sake of splitting it, when clearly, we have our own strengths in different segments. I would argue I'm better at operation just because I'm naturally more organized, and I would argue that Brian is way better at sales, because if I had to take like all of like even client calls, if I had to take all of those calls, I would probably just shoot myself like right? Like, and the same would go for him, like if he had to figure out all of the operation, the back end, the automation, or just keeping everything together on that side, right? And so it just also makes a lot of sense.
100%. November and December, months where our industry is very, very slow. Like the stigma around, Q4, it's like, hey, everything is very slow. Everything is, like people are taking time off. People are not buying products. You guys took a leap from $80,000 a month to $154,000 a month in 30 days, right? In the last month, in December, which is the slowest month in our industry, what do you think was different?
Of course, it's based on data, yes. But it's like when you're trying to scale a business and you're trying to do it fast, like having this certain like limiting beliefs of like, December is a slow month.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slow month, right? Like at the end of the day, like we proved ourselves that that's not true, right? So I think with November being like not hitting 100, it would have pissed me so off personally if like then December was like even lower or the same and not hitting 100 still, because it's a slow month, right? Info. So there was kind of like that try. They said, we did 80. There's no way we don't do past 100. I think step one was not putting in our mind like, it's going to be a low one because it's December. Because if you do that, you're not going to get there. But also we were briefly talking about it before. Also, I think that December was a perfect time where we focus on the right things, in the sense of like we were super heavy in like delivery. and getting amazing results. And rather than like output, we were very input based in that month.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna have all the coaching costs. I'm gonna do an amazing job and give all the value possible. And also the sales calls in the month, I genuinely saw them. I'm like, I'm gonna jump on a call with this person, and I'm gonna like, it's going to be my responsibility, my duty to help them. And if helping them is signing them up for our program, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like we saw it from so much more of, instead of an output base of like 100, it's like all the opportunities come our way, we're gonna make the best out of it.
Man, and you guys reframed your mindset completely. It was like from output focus on how much, you know, the business was generating to like, what can I control? And I think that was like the reset that you needed. And correct me if I'm wrong, it was almost effortless. Like it was much easier. December was a much easier month.
It was.
Yeah.
And you guys doubled the biz, man. You know, like it's insane how you guys did it.
Yeah, I genuinely like also hosted like a group call inside of our program just on limiting beliefs, because I felt like that also applied so much to us, and it applies also so much to our clients. Like I see it also all the time as a coach, right? How much that impacts like the limits that people already put on themselves.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful, because we often get stuck into the tactics or the strategies, but it's like, it's true, you need those, but they are usually the simplest part, actually.
Yeah. I don't think you guys kind of realize after you tried the accounting that we actually hit like a crazy month, you know?
Yeah.
And then you guys said in the chat, and it was so funny, but it's just like a law of detachment, man. You guys stopped pedestalizing the goal, and you were just focused on what you guys could control, which is amazing. And then, you know, obviously, January was a month full of fulfillment. It was a month full of fulfillment, and the fact that you guys were still able to sustain 6 figures a month when sales and acquisition was not a priority at all. And, you know, you guys weren't even trying to sign new clients. You still made on. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And that also goes to the marketing, not the marketing, but the fulfillment of the product that you guys have. Like, you guys got tons of referrals.
Actually, January was, I think, around 120, around that. I would say that, like, from content not coming from referrals, it was probably like, I don't know, 30, 40 coming in. The rest was like purely referrals.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful when you have such a good fucking product.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that you guys have, the clientele, man, we got to talk about that the next time. But the fact that you have even the base to be able to make that much off of referrals shows that you have such a healthy business. And boom, it's just about, you know, implementing that, showing that now. And I generally don't see why you guys can't do 300, 400 in the next few months. Genuinely don't see how.
Now we'll be pissed if in March maximum we are not hitting 300. So save that, sleep that.
And we'll, you know, pop champagne in Marbella, as I'm sure.
Well, we both of our birthday in March.
Oh, really? It'll be a great birthday gift. Yeah. Nice. I love it. I love it. But yeah, man, I think those things were sick. I think another thing that as well was the price point. You know, like it's a small thing, but you guys had a 4K price point, and I was like, bro, get rid of that shit.
No,
and I brought it up also a bunch of times with the other guys, because we already seen like, you know, one or two other people inside of this mastermind that were presenting and explaining their situation in their business, and I've seen them do the exact same thing. It's a classic thing of like 20% of your clients bring 80% of the revenue and the results as well.
Yeah, man, like it was a little thing, yes, in the sense of like how little it takes to do it, but it changed everything, man. Because like, bro, like if you look at data, we went from an AOV of like 3K to an AOV of like 11K in December.
Almost a 4x.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, you can give me the same amount of calls, I'm gonna 4x the business.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always about the highest leverage thing to pull. That takes the least amount of effort, the least and the most result. And boom, the price was I knew that was the lever I was gonna pull, and it's only, you know, partly it was like, well, that's when Brian implement. I'm glad you guys did, because boom, immediately with no change in marketing, no extra sales, whatever, same amount of book calls, boom, you know what I mean?
And I think it's, of course, it's the outcome, but also it's like mentally how you like frame and present yourself. Because like having that 3K offer is like, you're giving a possibility to people to get access to you for 3K. And also it's like mentally you're like, oh yeah, it's almost like my access to me is worth 3K. But now it's like, hey man, like if you don't have at least like 8K, because it's kind of like our lower ticket that we still have, then we talked about, you know, removing it with time. But it's like, now if someone on average the first time they pay me on a call is 11,000, it's like position you in a different way. And also I feel like if you have a lower offer, you can get lazy with that. You can get like, oh, this person, you know, it's not someone that's making 50K a month. Let me just go with this lower one, you know, just to be sure.
Exactly,
and you're
bro.
wasting so much money, bro.
Exactly. And it's like you downsell, but you don't know how much you actually lost out.
Exactly.
And you carry yourself differently. I mean, look at us, bro. We're drinking water from wine glasses. We're wearing a scarf, all this fancy shit now. What's going on? Bro, get the 5-figure AOV, doesn't know how to act. It's fucking sick, man. You know, it's like you do move differently when you force yourself, like, hey, this is a strict ICP that I'm looking for.
And not only that, I feel like for also the people that are watching at home, whenever you have a situation similar to that, so having two offers that target two very different types of people, the other problem is that you think that by removing one, you will lose part of the market and you will not be able to sell to all of these people that you had the chance to sell to before. But the reality is that more often than not, it just shifts who you're talking to with your offer. And so it's like you're not talking to less people, you're just talking to more qualified people that can actually afford that higher.
And your marketing is so much more on point.
Yeah, literally. Because you're talking to one single type of person, and so you know exactly what their actual problems are, what they're struggling with, and what they actually want.
Yeah, and plus, like, only after 10K OV, I think you unlock the scarf, man.
And the wine glass.
And the wine.
Let's got the BBL wine glass. So he's moving different. But yeah, man, literally, it's sick. It's sick. And another thing to add to that, it's just such a high level, and even the people that are unqualified will work to be qualified so they can work with you.
Yeah.
Like, we've had this happen so many times. They hit us up. We tell them, no, it's not a good fit. And then 4 months later, they work their ass off. Now they're, you know, a 5-figure a month business owner, and, you know, they have a foundation that we can work off of. Now it's just 10 times easier to get the result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they work to become your ICP, which is the fucking coolest part.
Yeah.
And it's more that more exclusive and premium feel. And when you're the top 1% of like your industry, which is sick. Speaking about top 1%, you guys have obviously invested into programs in the past, all of that. And, you know, we were talking last night about kind of the experiences, and I kind of want to know from your guys' perspective, what was different about this program? And what do you feel really stood out to you?
Just being here in Sweden together, bro. Like, we just spent 4 amazing days together with everyone else. We just made so many friends, bro. It's like
the community aspect,
the community
was for sure.
The community, and like, bro, you care. Like, we can tell that. It's like, I feel like, and to me, you know, because we're good people and we're good business owners, it's like, we give it for granted, but like, there's so many people out there that genuinely don't care. It's like, collected your payment, my job is done. That's almost their mindset. It's like, my job finishes where I collect the payment because I convinced you to work with her. No, man, like, the job begins there.
Literally.
Like, they trust you with their money. Are you gonna get them results? Are you gonna be there for them? And, you know, you've always been there for us. And I think you're very good at just let us focus on just the next step that's gonna have that impact. So not overwhelming us. While we still know that you and the team are there for us at any point, you know.
Sick, bro. You're making me feel all warm and shit.
No, I get the brand.
Yeah. How about you, brother?
No, 100%. I definitely feel like, as I was saying, the community aspect is really powerful because it doesn't feel as just transactional and as cold. That's kind of what I've experienced in the past on other programs of like, again, because the problem is, as I was saying, that sometimes it's not just the techniques. It's also about the mindset shifts. It's also about the limiting beliefs that you remove. It's also about making someone really understand the concept and passing to them really what their main focus should be. Having also that intensity, that proximity, and all of that oftentimes impacts more the techniques and the tactics. And then definitely also that aspect of the entire team. And so having everybody that's focused on a specific aspect and that can help you on specific different parts of the business, right? So what we were mentioning right now about Alex and the appointment setting side of things, it's like you have that part inside of the program that's specialized in that. And so because of also you being surrounded with all of these A players, you're able to help people in different areas because there's an expert for each of those areas.
Yeah. I think you kind of like, at least for me, but I think for you too, bro. It's like you kind of reframed our way of seeing that. Like, we work with coaches in the past that were not the founder. Yeah. But it always felt like they're giving you a coach so it's scalable.
It's like, you know, they're just doing it because it's scalable.
Right.
They don't
like,
really
they just pass your CSM and you talk to them.
Yeah.
It's like, for the first time I saw with your program, and it makes so much sense. It's like, why the heck would I talk to you rather than Nick or George when it comes to appointment setting when you're not the one doing the appointment. Like,
and they're spending 12 hours a day.
They're spending 12 hours a day doing appointment setting. I'm gonna talk to them. Why would I talk to you? Right? So it's like, now I'm not just investing in you and your team. And that's something that we're gonna, start doing with our offer too. And by presenting it that way, it actually is so much more logical and
no-brainer. And they'll thank you for it.
Yeah,
your clients will thank you for it. So it's all the perception. And generally, if your guys are good and they're in-house, man, they're in-house for a reason. You know what I mean? And so when you show them off to your clients, like, your clients are gonna absolutely love it. So I love that. And I asked this question, but I want you to be genuinely honest. I think you guys would have generally achieved the result, regardless. And I say this because you guys are smart. You guys would have figured it out, and maybe it would have took you much longer. But I generally do think you guys would have figured it out because you guys are smart. But where do you guys think you'd be if we didn't really work together? You think you'd still be like under 6 figures, or like, where do you think the business would be? And would you have known that it was a pricing problem? Would you have known it was an appointment setting problem?
No, I would definitely say under 6 figures. But the reason why is, again, the main reason why in the first place to me it makes sense to invest in a coach, which is to speed up that process, mostly from the experience of someone else that can more easily pinpoint what the actual problem and bottleneck is. Because the problem is that we work hard, like we work really hard, and we are two. So we have a lot of workforce, work power, but at the same time, if it's focused on the wrong things, that's when really it just tends to burn you out, and it doesn't really bring to anything. Like, there's a reason why, as we were saying also before, even if we already had hit a record month, we decided to look for a coach, because we really figured out, okay, that's cool. We are definitely not scaling at the speed that we could scale at. And so I think it's mostly that, it's speed, because at the end of the day, the only limited asset that you actually have is time. So why would you not invest in something that not only has a clear ROI, because like if you actually apply the systems, then it's super easy in terms of an ROI, but also that can literally shortcut time. Like, that to me is really the most powerful thing possible. That's also really how I like to look at money, as a condensed unit of time, because you can literally just buy back your time, which is the only scarce resource that we have.
I think, and I appreciate you and respect you for saying that. You think we would have hit it regardless?
100%.
Because I believe in that. I definitely believe also that we would be still under 6 figures. We might be like getting close to it now, like in a few months. But I think the biggest lever genuinely was that meeting in London. Just because I don't think, yes, we would have not be there because of the systems and everything, but for the biggest reason it would have been because we would have not wanted it enough. Because right now it's like, I was looking at the pipeline right now, and there's like 45K already like coming through and everything through payment plans, some people that just joined. And it's like, right now, bro, if we go under 100, bro, I wouldn't even be like, that's not us, bro. Like, we're not business owners that are under 6 figures. It's like new identity.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that in the future that will become, if we go under 250 and then 500, and it's supposed to, like, that's evolution, right? But if you don't have that initial push of like 50, it's not okay for you guys. Like, naturally you're gonna get there so much slower.
Man, that London, I knew it. I was like, I need to pull that trigger. I need to really make feel that.
Some things are meant to happen. Just the timing of everything.
So perfect, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I was in San Francisco and I was like, no, bro. Like, I genuinely cannot come.
It was crazy.
It's the day that I'm flying from the States. How I'm gonna be in London. And I was like, wait a minute, I fly with British Airways. Where does it like change?
He literally had the change in London, and then he had to come back to Cyprus, and he would have made it in time. And then we realized that he had the change in London, so he just stopped in London. And he didn't take the
like the night before, and it was in the morning. It was like, bro, you cannot like.
It's like a love story.
And, bro, not gonna lie. Like, I'm not even exaggerating this. I genuinely believe sometimes in this stuff. I bought the last ticket that there was on my plane to get to London from Cyprus.
It was the only way.
It was super fucking expensive, but I was like, I know it's gonna be worth it. It was genuinely the last ticket that there was. When I saw it, I was just like, I'm gonna take it, not thinking about it.
Damn, that's fucking insane. That's actually insane. But yeah, man, I want to wrap it up kind of here, and I want you to really think about your past self. That past self where you knew you were destined for more, you knew you had a lot of potential in the business, and you knew that you weren't operating at your full output and your maximum like ability to impact lives and make money. What is advice you'd give that older version of you if someone's stuck in that position right now?
I mean, the first step would be, we talked about it a lot, but like strive for more in the sense of like sit down, realize for a second on like the entire journey that you've taken so far. Because like so many times we get stuck into, you know, hitting 40 consistently. Like there was a time where hitting 10 felt unreal.
Yeah.
We're hitting 20 felt unreal. Like I still remember, man, our first like cigar talks when we started, you know, create content class. We were like, oh, there's people out there hitting 100 a month. How's that even possible?
Yeah.
But I know we're gonna get there. So it's like, I feel like just stopping for a moment and reflecting on the moment where you're starting, where you are already, and how much in proportion that was already so much big of a jump. And I'm saying that because I genuinely believe that can fuel so much into wanting that again.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people get stuck into them and they get, you know, complacent because it's like, okay, now I'm 40, 50 for like 4 or 5 months. I got money, you know, I'm good.
Relaxed and chill.
But it's like you gotta find that fire back. And for us, it was working with you. For some people, they might find it another way. You know? Of course, I recommend them working with you. But right now, I'm just giving it as a universal principle of like, you know, get that fire back and understand the reason why you started all of this in the first place, and the journey that you're ready.
And that to me is like in the positive sense, and in the negative sense is really realize that in the grand scheme of things, what you're making is probably nothing. You know, if you truly think about it, and I don't say it in a negative way of like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm making 100K a month. Like I'm blessed, you know. We realize that every single day, you know. Sometimes I really feel that, and I'm like, I just get out, get some fresh air, and I'm like, I'm gonna be okay. It's like I can't be that sad because I just made 6 figures, like 100,000 and not 200,000, right? But at the same time, realize that really in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. Like literally look around. That's also something that you were saying in London. It's like the building that we're in is probably, I don't know, $100 million, $200 million. What is 100K a month? It's literally nothing. And so it's really just realizing where it's placed in the grand scheme of things and how little it is still.
And, you know, to connect and kind of like close off on this chapter is, I think there's also always the question that you can ask yourself, which is, you know, what's the alternative? In the sense of, man, you see like people out there, like entrepreneurs doing an exit of billions of dollars. And the second where they sell this, they become depressed.
Empty, bro.
Empty. But why? Because the money was never the purpose. It's the building, it's the progressing, it's the growing. So it's like, okay, now I'm hitting 40, 50. Like, what are you going to do? Stop? Like, that's so depressing.
The only way is up, bro.
The only way is up, man. Like, we're made as men, like, we're made, human being generally made to evolve and to grow.
I love that, man. I think when you guys started to realize that, and, you know, you already had that. I just fucking added a shit ton of gas to it. I added a shit ton of fuel to it. And, you know, that fire got so much bigger. But, bro, everything just started working. Everything started clicking. So I'll ask this last question, man. You know, I always ask this to everyone, and I want your most honest take, you know, not just because we're sitting here and all this. I want your most honest take. If there's someone watching this video and they're truly on the fence, they've been watching the videos, they've been trying to, like, you know, find someone to help them get to the next level, and they've been seeing, you know, exploring different people and trying to see who's a good fit, and they're on the fence about joining, you know, and working with me, what would you genuinely say to that person based on your experience?
I would say, bro, there's so little people in info that are not actual bullshit and that genuinely care about their clients. There's so little. And this is something that I think the more we progress in any niche, literally, like there's so little people that are that genuine. And I feel like in that sense, also in the community that you're building and in the clients that are part of this community as well, there's so much of this sense also of duty towards our clients and towards, you know, making the world a better place, like improving people's life. Because at the end of the day, that's the purpose of coaching. Like you're helping people go from a point in which they are dissatisfied with their situation to the point where they really want to be. And so I would say do it, because I've seen like, and again, we've also been in a lot of programs. I've seen very little this much attention and genuine interest towards the clients and them getting results from this genuine place of wanting to make the entire space and the entire industry a better place.
And one thing that I had to, of course, I agree to everything that Ada just said. To me, I don't know if test is the right word, but to me, Sweden was a little bit of a test because we met other clients of yours in London, but it was a little bit of a different environment. It was not like living together and sharing moments. I wanted to meet these other guys because I wanted to see genuinely the kind of people that you attract, right? And, you know, to me, what was impressive is now that we're just like 20 years old, all of us, you know, making a ton of money for our age, it was the fact that I could genuinely vibe with everyone and we would share a lot of principles together,
Literally,
you know, and that's super valuable, man, because like, yes, we're all trying to make more money, but why are we trying to do that? Because you can help a lot of people make a lot more money, but if they have that intention, that's not good. And I'm so happy that, you know, we made friends on this journey, and I'm sure we're gonna share a lot more, you know, cool moments together. But I think like this, to me, this trip together proved to us, and I'm sure they're gonna see in the vlogs and everything, but you know, you're attracting the kind of people that I want to have around, and that to me is, let's say, confirmation that we made the right choice.
Sick, man, honestly. And I think, bro, this Sweden trip, I was telling you, Ash, man, one of like the best times ever, you know, in terms of the conversations we had. Man, last night we were up till 4 a.m. and we were sending Dario off, and we met this guy in person like 3-4 days ago. Like, what? You know? They were just talking and smoking cigars, and like this entire thing is just so crazy, you know, like the fact that you can click with someone in such a short time span. Like, you probably didn't even know of him before, you know? And he's just like, you met, this guy is fucking smart, he's funny, all of this, and man, that's what's special. And I think most important, like, past the business achievements, past the money, I'm just glad that we've been able to find each other and create these lifelong relationships, because we'll look back at this and, man, like, we've built something more than just like a business partnership, man. We've built a fucking lifelong friendship, you know?
100%.
And that's what's special. Like, we were literally just planning a trip to, like, you know, US or something. With, you know, not even full business people, but with, you know, our girlfriends and shit, you know? And who the fuck does this shit? And it's because we resonate so much on the morals and the values that we have. So I want to thank you guys, obviously, for putting your trust in me and working with me. And man, this is the start of something fucking amazing.
100%.
I genuinely think this is not an end interview. This is a milestone check. I think you guys are capable of so much more than 150. And capable of so much more impact because of the clients that you guys have helped and the competence you guys have. So let's start something special.
Thank you, bro.
Of course, bro. Of course. This was a sick interview, sick sit down. I appreciate you guys' time. You guys are already famous, but where can they find you?
100%. So, you know, you can just go on IG, @Create Content Club, and you can find us there. We moved into that direction, but we just gotta move the process faster, because if not, like, getting to 500,000 would be like a painful, slow journey. Like, what's important to me would be a lot of personalization, access to you, because I think that's necessary for the point where we at.
You guys are the only two people that I've offered it to. If I'm putting 12 hours, you know, like 12 one-on-one calls and stuff in this thing, like, I want to really make sure that we can turn you guys into a fucking powerhouse. I want to turn you guys into, like, literally industry leaders. I think you guys are positioned in a very, very good light, but I don't think it's solidified enough.
You know, you helped us tremendously, and we want to continue working together.